Welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Jay LaValle and this is Joe Janet's.
How are you folks doing today?
We're going to talk today about the Flash TV series, both the 1990s and the 2014 series.
Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is when the 1990 show started, it was very expensive. It started on CBS, and everybody that was involved in this project was somebody who later on you'll find were in different shows and had reoccurring parts on the new Flash series, which we'll get to. But let's start off with a cast call on who they were and what part they played.
Okay, well, John Wesley Slip played the Flash, Barry Allen. In the new series, he plays Jay Garrett / Henry Allen. And then there was Amanda Pay, who played Tina McGee. Alex Desert played Julio Mendez. They had certain guest stars like David Cassidy played Sam Shooter, the Mirror Master. Richard Belazar, the voice of Central City. And Mark Hamill from Star Wars, excuse me. And Batman, the voice of the Joker on the cartoon shows, played the Trickster. And there's Michael Champion, played Captain Cold. Denise Crosby played Rebecca Frost. Paula Marshall as Iris West. And Jerry Ryan as Felicia Kane.
Now, some of these names you'll know from different shows like Star Trek, Star Wars, and they continued to be in the sci-fi fantasy type environment throughout their careers. A lot of these actors went on to have major roles. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. We also have, Jerry Ryan. Now, Jerry Ryan, 7 to 9. So, like I said, there were a lot of people that launched careers, or they continued acting and came back to roles to reprise where they were before.
And the note on the expense of the show, the pilot cost $6 million.
Yeah, that's quite an extravagant amount. One of the things that you'll find that the cost of some of these shows back in the 90s was that CG, computer graphics, were just not there yet. They weren't able to create the fantastic special effects that we have nowadays in virtually everything, from TV commercials to television shows like The Flash.
And that $6 million was on top of the $1.6 million per episode.
Afterwards, yes. And the first episode was actually 2 hours long. And one of the things that they had to include in the cost of all this was the cost of the suit for Barry Allen. Now, in creating that, it cost $100,000. Now, that's just for one character. Yeah. We're not talking about special effects. We're not talking about anything. This was latex. It had to be put into a situation to where he could wear it. When he first got into it, it took him 40 minutes to get into his suit. Sometimes having issues with being able to keep it all on because, well, it was made of latex, so it didn't really breathe well. They had a lot of issues in that sense to try to keep the actor from overheating. Sometimes what you'll find in a lot of these shows, they put a lot of different items in as far as what they wanted their characters to look like. Tina McGee, she was the doctor for Star Labs. She was also dressed in 1930s, 40s type skirts to kind of diminish her role and try to, believe it or not, in the 1990s, make her less of a character and as important as the Flash was. which was unfortunate, but it was a sign of the times back then.
Before we go on to Earth, the next Flash series, which Earth would you say the 1990 series took place in?
Well, because of a reference that was made by John Shipp, that he later on played the role of Jay Garrett and
Henry Allen.
When there was at one point when he was going back to Earth 3, where he came from, he says, "You're not the Barry Allen that I knew," which was making a reference to the 1990 show. So I would have to say Earth 3.
Okay. Now on to the 2014.
Before we go to that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody that reprised some of their roles. They got to do them again. Amanda Pays, Tina McGee in the new Flash. John Wesley
I don't
Shipp.
think she's still Tina McGee in the new Flash.
Yes, she was.
Okay.
Yeah. Jay Garrison and Henry Allen. Mark Hamill, he played James Jesse, the trickster. Again, we had Vito D'Ambrose. He has played the mayor, Anthony Bellows, but he was a cop on the 1990 series. Alex Desert, which was Julio Mendez, which was the captain for the police precinct in Central City. And we had Corinna Boro, which played Zoe Clark as the prank in The Elongated Night Rises. A lot of these people got to come back and redo their roles later on in life, which was quite nice of CW to pull and use these people's not only information but the backstory. So before we finish, I want to give a shout out to CW for doing something as I don't know, I would consider to be thoughtful to bring these people forward and to let them do their roles one more time.
Yep.
And especially when it comes to somebody like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he had a lot of other shows. I'm sure it was amazing to have him on set, but he got to play his favorite villain from the comics, as he stated.
Yep.
So, on to Flash 2014.